I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in a Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village. Facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch, indeed a child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener, yes, dear listener, yes, dear listener. We have returned, as all the hype is saying. Are you working? Yes, you are working. Wonderful, wonderful. The mighty and powerful Oz, as they say. Yes, you hear the crackling of the fire because the fireside is in full effect, ladies and gents. We have, let me see what I got in the house. We got old schoolers. We got JD in the house. Gang, gang, gang. We got Ranner Matt in the house. Gang, gang, gang. We got Obi-Wan Kenobi in the house. We got everybody. This is wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Let's see. Hey, babe. Theanine, por favor.
What do you need?
Theanine. That's got to be the coolest word for a vitamin or a supplement of all time. Theanine.
We'll name our next kid.
We'll name our next kid Theanine. I go make a snack after 2 hours of waiting, and they go live. Sorry about that, mon front. No respect for old people. Let's see. You can't pass a camel through the eye of the needle is the verse, but actually people don't mean what I think it means. Interesting. All right, guys, here we go. It is a fireside. To the uninitiated, it is literally just us, in this case, moi, hanging out, chilling, maxing and relaxing, answering questions, talking about anything and everything. Vin, you're up to your neck. I don't know what up to my neck means. In theanine or kids? Probably kids. Yeah, dude, theanine is wonderful, wonderful. Kai in this bitch. Es vin fluente en español. Más o menos. انت تعرف عربي شوية. Alright, guys. This is like Festivus. Where's the poll? I have no idea. But I've been pretty happy recently. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. One of the reasons I've been pretty happy is wifey and I have experienced a bit of a relationship revival, so that's cool. But I'm also happy because I stopped watching the news. So apparently today is Liberation Day. I'm not really sure. The homie River was telling me we're liberated now because our president is tariffing everybody, I guess. I really don't know. And you know, it's one of the reasons, like I said, that I'm happy is I don't know. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. -5. We are liberated from our incomes. Let's go. That's right. Let's go. Another kid coming. No, I mean, inshallah, it's up to him. I don't know. But we've had a relationship revival. Having conversations, all that good jazz. It's good stuff.
100%.
That's the world I live in. I don't know motif. Yeah, man. Stupid colonizer. Yo, you got a real problem with them colonizers, Dwayne. Retire Fireside. No, absolutely not. This is outrageous. I'm bringing my pitchfork to your home. Can anyone liberate us from a mortgage payment, because I'm finding out it's heck. Yeah, believe me. I understand the pain. Trust me. So what y'all got going on, man? What y'all got going on? What are we thinking about today? What are we doing? AT in this bitch. What's up, AT? Good to see you, baby. Hope everything's going good for you. You know? Can't stay, maybe if you're on later. Yeah, man, it's good to see you. Just say what's up, you know? That's cool. Bro, it's been like a year and a half. Have you seen my music video yet? Nah, we'll probably play it. We'll probably play it tonight, though.
That won't get any blocks, right?
Nah, it's Jay's. It's Jay's.
Oh, okay.
I don't think we'll get blocked. Dwayne, I think you should have some theanine. L-theanine will help you with that problem, I think. Fish oil, Dwayne. That's right. Fish oil. It's a lyric vid, so easy peasy. Drop the link in drop the link in the chat, Jay. You know, maybe we'll do that like immediately. They haven't seen it yet. Damn, Jay, you need to learn how to bug people more. Man, my life has been a constant stream of interestingness. Let me say it that way, dear listener. Yeah, I mean, I really don't know how my new I am not going to watch the news. Like, I'm being really serious about it. Like, on Twitter, I've got a 1 minute kick out rule. So, like, Twitter kicks me out after a minute. I've been really focusing on, like, trying to protect my mental health. And not watching the shenanigans has been a very big part of that. So, I don't know what the hell is going to happen relative to the Middle America channel. I don't know. But, you know, we spent a lot of time together last night, and I was pretty happy about that. So, I think I'm just going to kind of stay where I'm at right now and let things be what they are. You know what I'm saying? I wish my life was less eventful. Not gonna lie, I'm craving boring lately. Yeah, I mean, you're still in the game. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, yeah, I hear you. Jay, drop the link, baby. Drop the link. I think I need to block someone. Anybody want to take the bait and coerce me? You still need a PlayStation 5, Xbox. I don't know about that, bruh, to be honest with you. Alright, guys, we're going to see the debut Actually, we're not going to see the debut yet because we got to wait for Sori. Because Sori's she's going to murder me if we listen to Jay's song without her.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
I'm almost done grilling.
Really? It's almost done? Mm-hmm. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Is that going to come with a potato?
Yeah.
Mashalat tabaraka.
You want some salad with that too?
Nope, I don't want salad because I don't believe in eating innocent vegetables who haven't harmed anyone.
Wow.
I don't know if you guys remember that. We had a fireside in which a person whose name I will not mention was talking about how he was going to eat air, I think it was, so that he can... he was going to eat air so that he could not kill any living being, I think it was, is what he said. So, you know, that's some radical creation care if I've ever heard of it. As I said, I will not mention the individual's name. He's still out here streaming, so good for him. Where's Sori? I have a few things to say to her. Of course you do. Oh my! I said I wasn't saying Sarah's name. What's up, AJ? Good to see you, baby. Good to see y'all. Man, the gang is back in town. So what are we talking about today, y'all? What are we talking about today, y'all? Look, just because I don't watch the news doesn't mean you can't ask me about the news. Like, there's no topic that's off the table. It's just, you know, you can ask me about it, and I'll do my best. Yeah. The individual in question was talking about eating babies because if a person had cooked babies, like, he wouldn't want to be a rude host, so he was gonna eat babies because he was going through these really big lengths to not to say that he ate meat, but he didn't believe in it, that type of thing. So he basically said, "I have to eat the meat." It was a very fascinating conversation. I ain't gonna lie to you. Shout out to the homie. Having a salad with your dinner is like enjoying your dinner and your dinner's dinner. That's smart. Who came up with that? Which person came up with that? I miss meeting with that guy on his live streams. Yeah, man. Like, he still has his live streams out there. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to the homie. Good for him. You know? Like, we kind of lived on the border of, because he was in Canada and we were in Maine at the time. So, at one point I was like, I'm going to go see this man. But I turned that bad situation into some really good Christian lemonade, I think. Yak told me to tell you hi. What's up, baby? Good to see you, Yak. Good to see you. Lots of natives on this channel making the white folk nervous. Is that so? So what are we dealing with today, fellas? They dropped a new trailer for the new Star Wars series, Tales from the Underworld. Tales from the Underworld. That's interesting. I didn't know there was an underworld in Star Wars. Wow, Pony. Pony got that crazy memory. Yeah. That's when I asked the homie, I'm like, is that why you call my wife a bitch? But you know what? He repented. You know, he realized the error of his ways. At some point, you gotta let shit go. You gotta forgive people. You know, you can't be a tough guy all the time. Sometimes you gotta, show that forgiveness. So that's what I did, dear listener. I showed some forgiveness. What can you do? Sometimes you gotta pop out and show people. By the way, what did you get? I didn't get a lot of feedback. What do you guys think about the new set, guys? What do you think about the new set? We've worked very hard on it. It's not actually complete yet. But what do you guys think about the new set? I want to say R.I.P. to Val Kilmer, one of my favorite actors. His Doc Holliday and Jim Morrison roles are legendary. Yeah, man, that killed me. That killed me yesterday. I thought I initially kind of was like, oh, this is like a, what do you call that? A April Fool's joke. But it wasn't an April Fool's joke. Rest in peace to the homie. Yeah, Heat was my favorite Val Kilmer movie. I didn't see the other ones, the Doc Holliday and the Jim Morrison one. I didn't see that one, but I did see Heat, and Heat was like, that was one of the best movies, man. That's actually a movie I want to watch with Sori. We're probably gonna watch it at some time. There's Larry. It's okay, Vin. It's okay. It's a mid. That's what the kids say. It's a mid. It's mid. I like to think I'm God's silliest goose, and then I remember Damien exists. Yeah. Oh wow, Kai. I'm surprised that you like that movie, Heat. What movies do Europeans watch? Like, not being weird, but like, what movies do you guys actually watch? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there's so much I like about Heat, but probably the cinematography of it all. Those big, huge aerial shots make the city its own character as much as the leads. Yeah, I thought that, I was pretty young when that movie, like, came out. And I think it was one of the first rated R movies that my parents let me watch. Shout out to Mr. Man for convincing my mom to let me watch it. But, yeah. I watch all movies. Heat's a classic. Did you ask me a question earlier, Roby-Wan Kenobi? That's a badass name, by the way, Roby-Wan Kenobi. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's a legit name. I ain't gonna lie to you. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show folks. Did anybody watch Death of a Unicorn yet? No. What is Death of a Unicorn about? Okay, so Pony, you've chosen Smoke Signals over Imaginarium. So I'm going to shoot a video about it. And if you can get 40 likes, we will watch Smoke Signals for you. We'll make it a, I don't know, we'll make it a Patreon thing or whatever. But I will shoot the video. If you get 40 likes or so, Smoke Signals will be there. Be there or be square. I was asking if you liked or saw The Chosen yet and what your thoughts about it were. The portrayal of Jesus is the most unique portrayal of Jesus I've ever seen in my life. Hold on for a second, guys. I really, really like Chosen's Jesus a lot. He's very he's kind of modern type of thing. It's a real kind of like, it's weird. It's like it's kind of its own genre almost, like the way that they do it, because it's like they all have these like overdone accents, but at the same time, like the dialogue seems kind of modern. I don't know how to explain it. Like, so for example, when John and James wanted to call fire down on the Samaritans for rejecting Jesus, Jesus is like, what y'all doing? And they're like, let's call down fire from heaven. And then Jesus looks at them and says, fire. You know, like it was just like such a human response, like fire. Like when I first, I used to read the Bible, I used to think that, like, when I was a little kid, I used to think that Jesus was like, would float like 2 feet off the ground everywhere he went, and then all the Jesus movies, like, he was serious about everything, bro. Like, everything was like so, like, and like, obviously I take Jesus extremely seriously, but it's like, this dude had kids that wanted to be around him. Like, if he was just like, ooh all the time, I don't think kids would want to be around them. You know what I'm saying? I really truly look at a test of character as in how children respond to you. I really look at that as a test of character as to being a man in manhood. How do children respond to you? Do children want to be around you? Do children, are they safe around you? Would parents leave you unattended with their children? Like that really is like a major measure of a man for me. And so it's like, there's no way Jesus could have been ooh all the time if kids wanted to be around him. So, I still read the Bible. I just have a lot more of, and a lot of that is just like talking to Jesus yourself, and the dialogue that we have, and we've got our own kind of lexicon, and I don't share a lot of it because people would be like, no way is God saying that, it's not holy or whatever. But yeah, I love the Chosen's Jesus. He's extremely you know what it is they did they made a conscious decision, like, we are going to emphasize his humanity, right? So Christian theology is, the hypostatic union, right, of, what is it, Philippians 2. Jesus, who being in very nature God, did not consider equality with God something to be grasped, but emptied himself and made himself a servant, etc. And so a lot of times when you see movies depicting Jesus, they're really depicting, it's like clear, like this is God on earth, right? Whereas the Chosen's Jesus, like, it seems to me they made a conscious decision to say, this is a human being. That doesn't deny that he's a divine being, but they're emphasizing the human aspect of him. So like there are times in the movie, in the show, where he's just dead tired. He's just dead tired. And, he's doing a lot of work, ministering to everybody, and then Mary is there, and their relationship is really, really tight. And it's I think it's tight enough to where the Catholics could be satisfied with it. And the other thing that I really like about that, why is everybody typing 22? Oh, I see. Yeah, I have to shoot the video. So if you wanted me to watch smoke signals, I'm going to shoot a commercial, right? I'm going to shoot a commercial, and then if the commercial gets 40 likes, we will do smoke signals. I like the Jesus in the American Gods. Was that what's that guy's name? Was it Alan something? The American Gods. What's his name? Tell me the name of that author, Kai. Was that the same guy that did the Sandman? That's what I'm asking. I got a question, Vin. When are we gonna ever debut our song to the congregation? The one that me and you did? I think I'm gonna debut that one to. Oh yeah, that was my high school situation, and then you dropped that second verse on it. I'm gonna send that actually to one of my guys. We're gonna get it like mastered and shit, and then I think we should debut it to Patreon, to the patrons first, and then we'll probably host a Fireside and debut it as well. Because that joint is hard. I was actually listening to that a couple months ago, I think. Roby One in the house, sun's throwing up. God bless and good night. Yeah, man. Peace out, Roby One. Good to see you, baby. For real, for real. Vin, no one outside of the natives knows about smoke signals. Well, what you're gonna have to do is recruit people to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? You're thinking Alan Moore, but he did not. No, okay, that was Neil Gaiman. That's right. Okay, so wait a second. So Neil Gaiman is he's in trouble now, right? Like, did he do something bad? Is that the same guy? Is that the same guy that we're talking about here? And if so, I did not know Jesus was in American Gods. It's probably some horrible blasphemous version, but I would be interested in seeing it. When Jesus the Chosen gets angry, he shows more of the Jesus I love, not the hippie Jesus they try to portray. Yeah, that's the thing about Jesus is like every camp tries to claim him, you know, right-wingers try to claim him, but Jesus would have been around a bunch of people that right-wingers would feel like was inappropriate for him to be around, and left-wingers try to claim him and say that he's one of theirs. But when Jesus was asked about marriage, he said, "Don't you know that the Creator made them male and female?" So Jesus was not a hippie, and he wasn't a raging right-winger either. Like, nobody can claim this dude. And it's one of the, and he's not like me either. You know, I'm supposed to be like him. He's not like me either. So Jesus routinely pisses everybody off. And he routinely challenges people in the worst ways. He'll bring it out of you. It's pretty incredible. Yeah, you need to recruit all the Caucasians. There are many Jesuses in American Gods, but I really love Ian McShane as Odin. You know, I truly believe I'm probably going to have a conversation with Odin. I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be a very interesting chat, I think. Yeah, Jesus would definitely shake you up. Like if you're when I was a kid, I was way more loyal to Moses than Jesus. It's terrible. But that's because I had been corrupted by the movie portrayals of Jesus. And there was one, I think it was the greatest story ever told, where they got a really skinny guy. I'm very, very sorry, but the guy was skinny. Jesus was either a carpenter or a stonemason based on how you interpret certain Greek words. But either way, he was actually pretty, he would have been pretty heavy set at the top because both of those were labor intensive, you know, occupations. And so like when I saw, let me try to find like a picture of the Jesus in the greatest story ever told. I mean, no disrespect, it's not for law, but that Jesus was a straight up, like, it's a Jesus I could beat up, right? Like, Jesus allowed people to beat him up. But before that happened, they showed up in the garden and they're like, "Where's Jesus of Nazareth?" And Jesus goes, "I am." And they all dropped to the ground. Like, they all fell on their ass, and that was it, right? And then they got up and he said, "Seeing as how you're looking for me, let the rest of these go." And they did let the rest of them go because, you know, dudes understand what happened in that situation. If you're a dude, you understand what happened in that situation. He did one of these things, and they all flinched and fell back, and they realized, he was like, "You don't want this smoke, bruh. I'm willing to go with you, but you're going to have to let these boys go, otherwise it's going to be a problem." And so, like, when the greatest story ever told Jesus was just straight up, you know, he was just soft. I ain't gonna lie to you. He was not a guy I could follow as a man. You know what I mean? So I think that kind of corrupted me to Jesus because I thought that's how he was like. Whereas the Jesus Moses, you know, Moses was on some gang shit. Not that one. Hold on. Let me find the Jesus movie I'm talking about. It was so bad, guys. It was really terrible. I gotta find this guy. Let me see. Classic Jesus movies. Where is it? Where is it? Oh yeah, it was this one. It was the Jesus of Nazareth guy. That guy. Oh my goodness. That was probably the worst ever portrayal of Jesus ever. I mean, the dude was just skin and bones, completely Aryan almost, you know, like, ugh, my gosh, he's killing me. And like the way that he looked too, man, like he was just like, he was like really floaty, you know, like, you know, I hope I'm not, you know, hurting anybody, but I mean, this is what we're talking about here. You know what I'm saying? What you on?
You eating on the stream?
Yeah, I'm eating on the stream. I don't care. You know, like, and he was really, really skinny, and he was just very, like, weird. You know, like, there's mysterious and, like, mystical, and then there's just, like, weird. Like, what's wrong with you, bro? It was kind of like one of those situations, you know? Was it Jeffrey Hunter? I don't know if it was Jeffrey Hunter, but that dude looked like Jared Leto for sure. My wife, whose mother was a Buddhist, she's Japanese Ukrainian, now is saved. She cried so much in season 4 of The Chosen. Yeah, man, there was some hard situations. I don't want to give away any spoilers because I don't know if we're gonna. I don't know what's gonna happen if we all watch that together or not. Sori's kind of trying to float the idea. She's like, "Yo, reach out to those people." Blah blah blah. But I don't know, bro. So yeah. But yeah, like that was a deep. It's a very good show. The writers are really talented. They, yeah, it's incredible. I love it. I love the show. Yeah, there was one with the light blue eyes. He was disturbing. Yeah, Matt. I'm pretty sure that was the guy that I just put up there. Like, dude was just weird, man. It was just, again, like not the kind of individual that you could imagine, like, you know, I don't know. But, you know, the Jesus of The Chosen, definitely. The most, like, kingly, like, the Passion of the Christ Jesus was also incredible. But, I mean, Jim Caviezel is, like, next level. I cannot wait for part 2, like the resurrection movie, to come out. Like, Passion was like important for me in my spiritual development, but it was just 2 hours of just brutality. So I can't wait for the resurrection. He said that it's going to be the greatest movie of all time, so inshallah we'll see. Then watch the Smoke Signals trailer. No, I will not. I refuse. I don't like trailers, to be honest with you. Because I feel like they give away too much. I'm going to shoot the commercial for the trailer, for the movie. You're going to have 30 days to get 40 likes on that thing. If you can't do it, then it's outside of the qadar of Allah. It is what it is, sis. Yeah, Passion's a rough movie. Yeah, there's going to be a resurrection movie, so, you know. That's one of those things, like, I'm going to see on IMAX. I'm going to make a very big day of it. Passion of the Christ 2, Payback. Yeah, I don't know. You know? I don't know. You might have Jesus with a do-rag. You'd be like, yo, sometimes you got to pop out and show niggas. I don't think that's going to happen, though. Will you watch The Handmaid's Tale Season 6? Handmaid's Tale is one of the most disturbing shows I can think of in recent memory. As a person now having daughters who are really becoming young women. And the conversations now are more consequential. I just had a conversation with one of them yesterday. It was a pretty consequential discussion, you know, where I'm trying to drop game to them as far as how dudes operate in a dude's mindset. So it's very difficult for me. When Sori first, when it first came on, it was a big kind of whatever, and we didn't watch episode 1, season 1 first. It was like episode 3, and we saw one of the rituals or whatever, and I just like I went ballistic. I lost my mind, and I completely turned it off. And then it was kind of like, nope, I'm out of here. We're just not watching this, whatever. And then the roast stuff started happening, and people started talking more and more about it, and all the women I respected on the internet, yourself included, obviously, were talking about it, and so I'm like, I gotta power through this because I understand what my convictions are, but this thing was like a cultural phenomenon while it was out, you know, like especially around seasons 2 through 4, and so like I went back to Sori. I'm like, hey, you want to watch that thing again? And she's like, yes, you know, I'm very interested. So went back and watched it, powered through it, had an extremely difficult time with it. So I guess season 6 is going to be the final season. Yeah, I probably will. You know, it's probably a Sori thing. You know, I forgot the lady's name. Was it Serena? You know, where like she's kind of like getting a taste of her own medicine. Like they didn't come out and like again. I don't want to like spoil it for everybody. So, long story short, probably I probably will. Like I said, like I'm being like mega like almost religious about my mental health. But I do feel like I owe it to the people that influenced me to go to finish it off. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my story. I hope y'all still on in an hour. I got to put my crazy ass child to bed. Yeah, I think we'll still be on in an hour. I'm sure we will actually. Let me see. Let me put the clock here. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show people. But yeah, man, yeah. And you know, I don't necessarily agree with everything in the worldview of the show. And there's parts of the show that really piss me off and annoy me. But I do not like the way black people are portrayed in that show. But then again, I almost never like the way black people are portrayed in any show. Obviously, I don't like the way that men are portrayed in the show. But I mean, what can you do? It's men that are fucking everything up in the world of Handmaid's Tale. So it is what it is. It's a challenging. It's art, man. It's art in one of its truest forms because it's extremely challenging. And you know, all the best art is you're not supposed to like it. So, you know, it is what it is. My eyes are still heavy, but at least an hour more. It's okay. Hey, Derek Norris, what's up, baby? Good to see you. I'll be back in about an hour. Illuminous! I still watch Passion of the Christ from time to time. It's tough, but inspiring. Yeah, I agree, you know. I used to have this ritual where every, like, Good Friday I'd watch it. Brutal. It was brutal, man. And it's crazy because, like, oh, it's anti-Semitism, blah blah blah, and that whole situation really offended me when they said it was anti-Semitic because I'm like, it's literally pulled from the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, these are all written by Jews. So for one group to call it anti-Semitic and then get the art altered was pretty frustrating to me. But I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, I will shoot the commercial for the. It's not Reservoir Dogs. It's Smoke Signals. And one of the things I would like, hopefully, Dwayne and Pony and Larry will be there. If I have certain questions, I'd like permission to pause it and ask some questions because I don't know, like when people shoot movies, like I don't know how much is real, how much isn't. You know what I'm saying? R.I.P. Dimebag freaking Daryl. Was today his? Is this when he died, or was today his birthday or something? As a layman, I never saw it as anti-Semitic more than it was about the word of the powerful few that used the Romans to eliminate a rival who only brought peace. Yeah, although Jesus didn't only bring peace. Like, he literally said, "Don't think I've come." He literally said, "Don't think I've come to bring peace. I haven't come to bring peace, but a sword." An enemy, a man's enemies will be members of his own household, etc. So, Jesus was definitely divisive, and he definitely did things that he would poke the religious folks right in their eyes and put them in really bad ethical situations that made them look horrible, and he did it on purpose, you know. So if you really dig into the culture and the time period and like certain things that he was doing, like he was really out here like trolling folks, like astaghfirullah, but he was really out here. I mean, it was all intentional and whatever, but he really was out here manipulating stuff. Like, it was crazy. It's crazy, like, when you really like dig into the scriptures and see what he was doing. He was out here murking people, boy. What do you think Jesus would say today about today's mega churches? I think it is probably oversimplistic to say that all the mega churches are bad. There was one, and for Maine, there was one mega church in Maine, and it had its issues, but I gotta tell you, they had this ethos of adopting, right? Because the pastor was like leading from the front, and then the pastors, like his sons, they all adopted kids. So you'd see these families of all types of. It looked like the damn United Nations. I'm not gonna lie to you. It looked like the United Nations, and it was it was fascinating because our church was more on the militant side, and we were going to go head up against. We literally went head up against the government. We were nowhere near the size of this particular church. And when you're doing extreme things like that, and your name's in the paper and all this other stuff, and you're getting death threats, you kind of feel like, yeah, like we started getting this, like, we're the real ones. And like God said to me one day, it's like, yeah, man, love what you're doing, but these guys are the other side of it. They're adopting kids. Okay, like, you're trying to save kids, and that's cool, but like, they're adopting kids. And it wasn't just like the cute, like how people function with foster care. It's like, I want that one. It's like shopping for a puppy or something like that. They were going to places like war-torn places, things like that, and their church just began adopting. And because the pastors did it, like, is a lot of them. It was like a disproportionate amount of adopted people in that church, and that was a mega church, by Maine standards. I personally know of a lot of mega churches that send out literally millions and millions of dollars a year in charity and things like that. So I think the mega church thing is a case by case basis. We have other situations where, see, here's the thing about mega church pastors. Mega church pastors in America also function as celebrities. And anytime a celebrity writes a book, it's going to be a #1 bestseller, right? And so a lot of times people mistake that, oh, this guy got rich fleecing the people. Not necessarily. A lot of those guys, I'm thinking about one guy right now, I'm not going to name him, but he's written like 5 or 6 New York Times bestsellers. I've got a friend in Maine, and he got on the New York Times list at the very, very bottom. He wrote the book like 10, 11 years ago. It did not blow up like blow up. And we were all, I met him, I ran into him 10 years. I'm like, hey man, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing for work? And I'm like, well, I'm doing YouTube and blah, blah, blah. He's like, holy shit, that's crazy. I'm like, what are you doing for work? He's like, I'm still eating off of that book I wrote like 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, and this guy, like I said, it was at the bottom. If I mention his name, you wouldn't know who he is. And you get these other pastors that are writing these books, and they're shooting up to the New York Times bestseller, and they're competing. They're not like #1 in religion. That's like, they're competing with like #1 period. And so it's like, okay, that's that guy's money that he earned, right? Like, You know what I'm saying? Like if I started a church, like YouTube is YouTube. Like that ain't got nothing to do with y'all, right? So there's that side of it. There's just a lot of perception. I've also seen a lot of really what happened to the tea thing. I've also seen a lot of really miserable, petty, selfish people in extremely small churches. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's the size of the church that's the issue. I mean, for me, it probably just comes down to the leadership. You know, what is the ethos of the leadership? What are they demonstrating to their people? Like I said, that church in Maine, like, the leader didn't sit there and preach a bunch of sermons about adopting children. He just went out and adopted a bunch of kids, and then his kids went out and adopted kids, and that created an entire kind of subculture in their church where that was happening. And I think that's amazing. I think that mega churches have the ability, on a structural level, to do things that smaller churches can't. And I think that smaller churches can do things that bigger churches can't. And so I don't know what Jesus is going to say about American mega churches. I do know about what he's going to say for people in private jets. I do know what he's going to say about people in gigantic mansions. But anytime I talk about, you know, the millionaire pastor in a mansion, what happened?
I just put milk all over that curtain.
Good. May God ruin you and give you a reprobate mind. Actually,
Wow.
didn't we? Weren't we supposed to turn that one on too?
Oh yeah.
But every time I talk about the mega church pastor with the private jet, I get a little chill here and there, because all of us got to look at the way that we live and realize that many of us, in comparison to the rest of the world, are living in the lap of luxury. And so I don't really get a lot of time to condemn rich people for being rich when I'm an American. I live in America. Like, there's like literally a lake. Like, literally, if I go out into my living room and open the whatever, there's literally a lake out there, and it spans like 2 miles. Like, Sori and I go for our walk, and it's like we're walking past this lake, and like I laugh all the time, you know, because I'm like, look where we live. This is ridiculous, you know. And so I've always struggled with that, and not doing enough, and not giving enough, and not giving till it hurts a lot. And so, you know, one of the things that the Bible says about Jesus is that he'll judge the nations with equity. I know that equity is a word a lot of people don't like, but like, you know, Elon Musk is going to be judged in a way that is equitable to me being judged. You know, he's got trillions of dollars. He's going to be the first trillionaire. And I do think that carries a weight of responsibility, but I also think that what I do as a normie, regular person also carries a weight of responsibility, because I'm an American. So that's a all over the place answer, but there you go. That's the best that I could do. I hope Sori made enough food for the rest of us. Well, she made enough food for you, but you're not here. So I don't know what to tell you.
It's true. There's a whole bunch more out there.
Oh man, I can't tell you, beautiful people, how good of a cook this woman is. She's literally the best cook in the world. If she was on those shows, first of all, like, look at that.
I would need ChatGPT on the show with me.
Ridiculous. It's raw, Giacomo, you donkey. Shout out to my homie Giacomo, bro.
Who's Giacomo?
I would suggest watching Jay's vid before you eat. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do that.
Before? Is it gonna be gross?
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna eat first. I'm gonna eat first. Uh-oh.
What?
Amorphous' 15th studio album is mixed and ready. Here in Oklahoma, Oral Roberts had the reputation of being a self-appointed deity. He told his church, I need $8 million or God will send him home, and he got it.
Are you serious?
Send him home for the uninitiated means he's going to die.
Wow.
So I don't know if that actually happened.
Oh, right, true.
But
That's wild.
that's insane. But that's what I'm talking about. Like, we know, obviously, those are going to be very rough conversations. You know what I'm saying? But I also have to say, if you heard somebody say that and you gave him your money, I also think you're going to answer for that.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
Because the scripture does tell us to grow in wisdom, and the teachers, Paul talked about this. He says if people rob you and abuse you, you put up with it well enough. He said that to the Corinthians.
Oh my gosh.
So I think that he's gonna pay, but I also think that the people that gave him, God's gonna be like, come on, y'all. Christianity is not a religion for unthinking people. We've created some of the most intellectually rigorous philosophers in the world ever. Augustine, Thomas Aquinas, Jonathan Edwards. Like, we've created some of the most rigorous philosophers that have really influenced the Western world. And so there's a real intellectual strain in Christianity where you ought to be able to see the dumbness when it's happening.
That's true. Wise as serpents.
Yeah, the scripture Jesus tells us, be wise as serpents and gentle as doves. So, you moved the thing, by the way.
I wondered. Like this? Wow.
She is indeed drinking milk with her dinner. Amy's like, are you drinking milk with your dinner?
Bro, I love milk. This
Are you
this
eating
is a
this?
small. Yeah, it's very spicy.
Uh-huh.
I know, I did it extra spicy for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I love milk. I drink milk at almost every single meal. There was this lady that was like, yeah, she's like, once you, was it 30? Once you turn 30, you won't drink any more milk.
Oh, that was BM?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
I
the
was
people I
like-
dreamed that I was.
You did? Oh, really?
Remember?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was them. Rest in peace to them in the dream world.
Yep. It has to be whole milk, though.
Whoa, I have no respect for Billy Graham. Why don't you like Billy Graham?
Who said that?
Larry.
Why, Larry? Oh yeah, neither did what's his face.
Who? Who?
Baggies.
Huh?
What's his face?
Oh, Phelps. Shots
That's
finding a
Graham.
Fred Phelps.
Wait, I'm 54
And he
and I
drinks
drink
milk all the time.
Do you drink whole milk and you drink a lot of it?
Let me see.
My grandmother, well, Meme, she said that they were both Catholic. Her and my grandfather were Catholic. And my grandfather started, like, watching Billy Graham stuff, but she was, like, so Catholic that there was, like, no space for any, like, Protestant, get out of here, like, anybody that wasn't Catholic. So he used to go out on the porch, and in Maine it gets really cold, and they used to call it a breezeway. And it was basically like a screened-in porch area.
Is that hey, that hurt me?
Yeah. She used to feel so bad about this after he died. She said I'd tell him, you can't play that in the house, and he would go out on the porch and sit in the cold and watch Billy Graham. She felt so bad about that because she ended up leaving the Catholic Church herself. And then it was like, oh man, like what was, I think that sometimes is part of the pain is like when timelines don't align. So if she would have left the Catholic Church at the same time he was feeling that, they could have watched Billy Graham together. But instead he watched it alone, and then she came in it alone. And so it's like, man, if we had only lined up, maybe it would have been, it's just sad. So yeah, when I think of Billy Graham, I think of Billy Graham, I think of that, and I think of Charles Templeton. who did work with Billy Graham, and then he ended up like, I don't know if he became an atheist or agnostic, but there's a book called The Case for Christ, and that's Lee Strobel went around. He's a journalist, and he went around trying to disprove Christianity and disprove Jesus, and so he used his journalist like ways to like dig into it, and by the end it like totally changed the way he viewed things in what he researched and how like he went to locations, talked to different people. It was a pretty interesting story. But one of the people that he interviewed was Charles Templeton, and Charles Templeton was saying like he didn't want anything. I got the name right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't want anything to do with Christianity, he said, but he got like emotional and he talked about Jesus, and he said, but he basically was saying, but I miss Jesus. Yeah. So that's my like couple stories about.
Based on the information available, Oral Roberts did make a dramatic plea for $8 million in 1987. The plea. During a fundraising drive, Oral Roberts stated on television that unless he raised $8 million by that March, God would call him home. That's exactly what Dwayne said.
So what happened? Like, what did he do with that
This
money?
was in relation to funding for Oral Roberts University. The result. He did raise the money. In fact, he reportedly raised $9.1 million.
That's a lot of
One
people.
notable donation came from Florida racetrack owner Jerry Collins, who donated $1.3 million.
Wow.
Okay.
Ooh, this is spicy.
I'd have been like, bro, go home. See ya. I don't understand why you need $8 million to build a school, especially in 1987.
I didn't even think of that. Oh my word. Yeah, you can. That's the fun thing about ChatGPT and stuff, or using Gemini, is to find out, yeah, how much did his school cost to build?
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Remember that other guy that we were watching him raising the money for his school? Did that ever open?
Who?
The
Brother Umar?
Yeah. Oh, you're getting sweaty. I made it hot enough for you.
Brother Umar? Hell no, he still doesn't have a school. I mean, he has a school, but, you know.
He's so funny when he, cause he'll be like talking, like seriously telling you how you need to be doing things, and then all of a sudden, if he's in public, he'll get distracted because his sister will be walking by. He forgets that after we see him get distracted, that all of a sudden we see her walk by behind him. Are you looking it up?
Yeah. The Google stuff is. Ha! It would likely be worth anywhere between $23 to $25 million today.
Yeah, but what did it cost at that time to build?
What do you mean?
Oh, you didn't ask how much a school cost to build?
No, because that's just I don't know what he was doing at the university, but basically today he was asking the people for $25 fucking million.
Wait, that's what you're... That's so bad. Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
What's up, Jack? Brother Umar is one of the worst. One of the worst.
But entertaining.
His daughter was a blogger, and she said something bad about him or something like that. And he's like, basically like, you gotta get your numbers up. To his own daughter. It's insane.
Wow. So, like, his ego got hit, and so that's what he said to her?
That's why I said, like, anytime, like, I measure a dude by, like, how he interrelates with children, especially his own, I mean, good night.
Mm-hmm.
If your kid says something reckless about you in public, like, you gotta handle that shit, like, behind the scenes, bro. You're the man. You're the adult. He's always talking about, like, men, and
Yeah.
he's got these very, like, stringent gender roles, which, okay.
Yeah.
And then, like, his daughter says something reckless about him, so he goes back and fights her like she's just like some regular person. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know what equipment Mr. Roberts was gonna need for that school. Damn it.
What was his name? What Roberts?
Oral Roberts.
Oral Roberts. Oh, okay. I want to ask my question.
Have you listened to that podcast about animism? I'd like to talk to you about it and get your thoughts on it. How long ago did you send that to me? Prior to Don Hoffman, I'd have been like, that's good for you. But Sori and I, right before we passed out last night, we were watching Michael
That
Levin.
was interesting, yeah.
Where it's talking about cells in your body and how the cells in your body are actually conscious and they make decisions and they are intelligent. It's insane. So if the cells in your body are conscious, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, it's.
Are you asking how much
Yes,
how much money it would
yes,
take to build a
yes.
university
Yes.
from scratch?
He famously claimed in 1987 that God would call him home if he didn't raise the $8 million for his medical
We already
school and
talked about
hospital.
that. We already talked about that.
Oh, are you? The university itself was founded in 1963, and the cost to build was estimated around $250 million over time. With its large campus, unique architecture,
What?
and facilities.
$250 million?
The City of Faith Medical and Research Center, which was the specific project needing the $8 million, originally cost around $150 million to build in the early 1980s. However, it struggled financially and ultimately closed in 1989 due to unsustainable costs. So
in
while
the
Oral
world?
Roberts was asking for $8 million to keep the medical program afloat, the entire university and medical center had already cost hundreds of millions to construct.
Ask them what $100 million in 1985 is today, based on inflation. What is a tacky? T-A-K-I-S. Jet says she's eating tackies.
It must be a candy, right?
Oral
Oh,
Roberts.
Takis. That's that chip that are like folded and they're really spicy. Are you
Never
eating
heard
the
of
blue
that.
ones?
How do you know about that and I don't?
Because remember that kid that used to come over with our and wrestle with our kids in the backyard? Billy?
No. Oh yeah.
Billy really liked those. He brought those over and introduced them to our kids. And he let me try them, and I was a little surprised by the
Maybe,
spice, but I liked it.
Napkins.
But I liked it. The flavor was good. I tried to buy them again, but I couldn't find the one that I don't know which one he gave me.
She's got the blue one, she says.
Are the blue ones the best? And how spicy are they?
I don't think I despise anyone as much as Stuart Semple despises Anish Kapoor. Who are these people?
Here we go. 100 million in 1985 would be roughly equivalent to 296 million today.
$300 million.
Adjusted for inflation.
La ilaha illallah. These people are ridiculous.
Yep.
To do what?
My thing is, he said he needed that money for that extra spot, and then it ended up closing not that long after. I feel like that was. Are we muted?
Yeah, for now. Actually, no, we're not.
I was like, I thought I was seeing that green line.
Oh, that's so funny, bro. That is so funny. Yeah. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you said, you needed it, or else God was gonna take you home.
So God took that $8 million from them people and set them poor people up to fail like that.
Literally, he said he claimed in 1987 that he needed that money, and in 1989 it closed due to unsustainable costs. So to me, that was God saying you should have never done that.
Stuart is a Christian who goes to college campus spreading the gospel. Literally, Stuart Sample has banned Anish Kapoor from buying any of his paint pigment. What is going on? Why? so strange to me. You cannot buy my paint.
Those things are weird. Like, remember when the artist Pink said anybody who's pro-life, basically we're not allowed to listen to her music anymore? I was like, what? Stand on your convictions, I guess.
The new school defense being developed will have sclera scans for kids and approved guardians and teachers and approved guests. Anyone exhibiting violent behavior will be stalked by the sonic waves.
What?
They just need to make them legal. Where, Amy?
What are you talking about?
Where is this occurring? You gotta sign a waiver if you buy Stuart Simple's pigments, saying you're not Anish Kapoor or affiliated with.
What? Are you serious?
Can you imagine being that petty?
No.
Why are people so petty?
But I don't know what the story is.
Our Doge doll is at work. Oh my gosh, Doge.
This was your knife.
I was listening to, don't worry about it.
I know you don't want it now.
I don't want to know that disgustingness. I was listening to Sam Sater. And I guess they were talking to about some kids who lost coverage that USAID was providing for them.
Okay.
That Doge cut. They cut that. They took down the building or whatever. I don't know, man.
What building?
Well, there was the whole building of USAID. I don't really know what they do because, like, I'm really not watching the news, but people are getting hurt over this shit. Shout out to Director Franco. But Pony, what did this person do to this person to make this person so angry at this person? What?
And take it out on the paint distribution.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. How are you gonna stop your own money because you hate somebody?
That's what I'm saying.
If it was me, I would be like, I would sign the waiver, be like, I'm not him. Then I'd like wear a mask and everybody would know it was me, but you really can't convict me. And I'd like shoot a YouTube video like, I'm using your pigments.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
And I would call myself Pamish Kapuri. You can't prove nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can out petty me.
See, that was the thing when
I am willing to go to lengths that you are not. You ain't gonna do it.
Nope. That's why, like, when Pink said that, I thought to myself, why would she say that? If I was her, I would say, all your money that you send to me, I'm gonna use to send to Planned Parenthood. If I was her, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would you tell? It's just weird, like.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess there's also, like, we're cutting funding for AIDS research in Africa or something like that.
Were we doing that?
Yeah, we were doing that for years.
Oh.
Like, we basically are close to, like, curing it, like, mass curing it.
No kidding.
It's the weird world we're in right now, I swear to God.
So we decided to cut that. What about all our war funding?
Oh, come on.
That's staying as is?
That's staying as is.
We're eating boneless pork tenderloin that's been marinated in actually a pretty good sauce. Then cooked on a charcoal grill with a baked potato, and I have salad also. And a big tall glass of milk.
This tastes like the chicken sometimes that you get at Chipotle.
Oh,
like
really?
The sauce, the seasoning, yeah.
Oh. Does it work for you? Do you like the flavor?
What is Matt? What are you laughing at? He's laughing at something.
I'm telling you, if we had the you never watched it. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, they send the stuff over the thing and it came in particles and then it lands, it just gets smaller. I'd send you some, Franco.
Are you eating babies or cows? You remember that conversation?
I mean, are we
you know what I'm talking about?
with Homeboy?
No, leave it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she's talking about. That's what
That
I'm
was
saying.
insane.
Luminous Knight, what you on, boy?
Hi! Actually, I think I have an email from you waiting for me.
Oh, he was laughing at you asking about the war.
Oh.
Silly Negro.
Terrible.
Yeah, Jet, I think I'm about to land the plane. We had 45 minutes, but I think everybody's tired. So I think I'll land the plane in 5 minutes.
Good day to you.
Yep. Are you eating dinner at midnight? I'm too old for that. If you don't eat your meat, then you can't eat your pudding.
Is that the rule in your house?
My weekends are over there. Maybe we can watch some Severance.
Oh, you were serious about ending in like 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm 100% on board of watching Severance.
Get some rest, guys. It's the weekday.
Yes, Sayla picked up more weekends for you.
Yes. It's a Pink Floyd reference. Hold on. It's a Pink Floyd reference?
What? Which one?
Get some rest. It's the weekday.
Oh, really? I get some rest. You guys, if you write poetry, you can take it. I'm not saying use AI to enhance your poetry, because that's kind of, it takes away from what you actually pulled out of your own soul. But you can take what you wrote and you can put it into like ChatGPT or probably Grok, and you can ask it to like break it down, and it will tell you like if it's like deep or if it's trash, or they'll nicely say it's trash if it's trash. I used to be on this like poetry group. Actually, I think I still am. I must not be getting, anyway, so I would take sometimes people's poetry and stick it in there just to see what it was going to say, just to make sure that they don't just be like everything is great even if you don't really think it's that great. You'd be like, well, the flow is a little or whatever. So yeah, you can always do that. It's very interesting to see what they'll pick up on your own songs or poetry.
Oh, I put one of my songs in there, and me and Grok had a good half-hour discussion about it. It was really cool. I love the AI stuff. I think that's
I see you on it actually quite a bit.
That's one of the benefits that we have of, you know, having so much free time in our hands. We really get to explore the AI thing.
I like the AI thing. Although when I was trying to get that picture tonight for it to generate an image, it was so annoying to me. I was like, "That's trash." You need to all the politeness was gone when I was talking to Grok. All right, where's Pony? You want more?
Can I get more of this? And then we got Jay's video,
Yeah.
and then we land the plane.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Now I'll
And
take my
Severance.
shower, and Severance, and then the text.
That sounds good.
Did you see the vid that I sent you on Facebook? Not yet. What did you send me? Is it a good vid? Is it a sad vid? Is it a mad vid? Is it a bad vid? Look at that, guys. Poet, and I didn't know it. Do I need AI for my poetry? Hell no. You do not need AI for your poetry, Larry. No bullshit. Larry has some of the... Larry be posting shit. I'm like, yo, Larry, who's that, bro? It's him. I couldn't believe it. So talented. Literally so talented. I like these classic fire streams. Yeah, you need to start writing again. Everybody who's an artist, you guys gotta start writing again. There is so much junk in the zeitgeist right now. We need the artists to art. I put a challenge to all of y'all. Y'all need to start putting the art out there. Yes, we are eating supper at midnight.
That is pretty terrible.
How's it terrible?
It's not good for your heart and stuff.
Oh, here we go.
To do that at midnight. Do you? Why is it that he's not here yet?
I mean, just text it.
Well, I'm asking if you heard anything. That's what the question was.
I need to art again. Ian Kirby! Good to see you, baby. We're just about to leave.
Terrible. Terrible, terrible. All right, you guys. Let's see. Wait. So, I seriously need to write again. Jay, which is this the song? Like, I feel like that there was like a chunk of time ago that we were going to be hearing one of his songs, and I'm not sure it actually ended up happening. Is this the one?
I think so.
Okay. Is there an introduction, Jay?
What point?
Yes, Kai. I believe you should. Kai,
What?
do you ever have like? He said he should get to the woods with his camera again. Is there ever weather over there that's not wintry cold looking? Or is that basically like? You guys must have a section that's not like that, right? Like a summer season. I'd like to see some of those photos, if you're so inclined.
Look at all these artists, poets. I'm thinking about writing again. He's going into the woods again. That's
Yeah.
what we need. You know, there's certain people that have a flood the zone strategy, and I think we need to flood the zone with our poetry and our art. However that manifests itself. We're metalheads. That's how we get through all this shit, because it's going to be a long 4 years. Poetry night. That's a good idea. Okay, it's a few seconds. I will check Facebook.
Yeah, poetry night. Especially, wait, how would we do that? Would people call in and read their poetry?
Yeah. We can make a big thing of it.
That's a cool idea, actually. Yeah, that's a cool idea. We had the Poets of the Village.
Yeah, that's up there. Jay was talking about we can revive it.
Yeah,
But I'm serious, man. I really feel like art is
it's the usual one.
art. We're gonna need it. You know?
Mhm.
I really feel that.
Yeah,
So-
I agree with that.
There's just too much crazy shit going on. I'm still on my news fast.
I'm honestly enjoying your news fast as well. Because you talk about other topics now.
That's cool.
I think before it was like you'd hear all this horrible stuff, you wanted to talk about it. And I was like, man, I don't look at the news on purpose for myself, but I didn't want to, break the connection with you if you wanted to share something.
Holy shit!
Is that CISO?
That's me.
That's you.
Holy shit! Hold on, I got the hat and everything with the bandana.
Yep.
Holy hell! How did she do that?
Did it
Hold on, talk to the people.
Oh, I thought they were listening. Oh, they can't hear it?
They can hear it, but they can't see it. You feel me?
Oh, okay. It's coming through. That's what AI can do. Vin was in a shopping center, dancing. Oh, what? You said talk to the people.
I'm gonna download the thing and show the people. Why would you destroy
Oh,
it?
well,
The things, man. Listen.
I mean, well, it's payback because
Mm-hmm.
we heard that the spoiler in the movie the other night.
What spoiler?
Ellen was like, it's about to get tragic
Oh.
or something. I was like, are you serious?
Yeah, but that's.
No, I wasn't intentionally trying to spoil it.
I
was just
needed
trying to-
that. I
was
needed
just
that
trying to
spoiler.
What?
I don't know. This is the thing I'm a jiggy.
Are you getting it?
I'm trying, but it only forwards stuff. How do I copy the thing? You know what? Do it from your phone and then send it to me.
Talk to the people. Talk to the people.
Like freaking Michael Jackson. Do, 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 do. Wait, where'd everybody go? AI, that's how I'm getting sleepy. Okay, he's getting sleepy. So let's do Jay's, what do you call it? We're going to do Jay Dispirited song. Do we have an intro? No.
I'm actually not in there. Do you have a code?
You're not in it either?
Mm-mm.
Don't do that because it's going to change it.
No, that's just to confirm it to get in.
Oh, okay. All right, here we go.
Spinning circle. The page isn't available right now.
Told you, the gods are against us. All right, here we go. This is Beyond Dismay by Jay Dispirited.
Beyond dismay. Okay.
Beyond Dismay by Jay Dispirited.
We're back.
Where'd you go? Come back, come back. Oh, that's why.
What's happening?
This is the thing and this is the other thing.
Oh.
So I uploaded it to the wrong thingamajiggy.
All right, you guys, we're about to start Jay's song.
It's called Beyond
Wait, hold on.
Dis...
Hello? Okay, thanks for calling to let me know. So, he's got a flat tire and his chain is messed up now.
When was he planning on telling us that?
Just now. Okay, so
How far away is he?
Okay, well, when you finish there, call me and let me know if you got it straight or not. All right, love you. Yeah.
Is he
He's
at
right.
work?
How far from Wawa are you? What? Oh, I thought you said 23. Okay. Yeah, let me know when you're done that, if it goes, how it's going. Whether it goes or doesn't go, call me either way. All right, I love you.
So where is he?
Bye. Just got out of work. Apparently they, somebody called out. So.
That's why he went in?
No, he was already in. That's why he's been in so long. All right, we'll talk about it offline. All right, let's start.
This is about a conversation with God during my past trauma. That's the intro. And his presence during. This is a debut of my brother, Jay Dispirited, Beyond Dismay. Let's do it.
Wait. Why can't I hear anything? Was there sound?
Yeah, I heard sound. Didn't you hear the fire crackling the entire time?
No, I don't remember. I don't keep the headphones on. Okay, try it again.
Okay, ready?
Incomprehensible. My fingers it bleeds. Empty vessels of apathy. I fall to my knees. Totality of a world that's torn. My eyes have seen its horror ever since I was born. Insist on living out the misery so this life can be scorned. So worn in the warm arms of everything that has been adorned. My life, I should have stayed dead in the wound of life. My life, I should have carved a bit deeper with this knife. My life, I can't adjust to this world, so I damage, disarm. My life, I never wanted to live. I cannot stop the harm.
Wow.
Where is he?
Where's Jay?
Jay, where are you?
There he is.
So A, are you going to send me those lyrics like I asked for? And B, you want to...
What do you need?
Didn't we have a Skype? You're going to have to give us a breakdown of that, Mr. J.
I mean, he could.
Does he have your number 2 from the band?
Oh, there's the video. Let me me see. No, I don't think he does.
Lyrics are in the description of the video. Hell, post the video again.
No, it's right here. I can send it to you from here.
No, I need the link because the lyrics are in the description of the video.
Oh.
He
Sorry,
just
sorry
said.
about that. Okay. Yeah, you can send it to me on the Sori secret.
Could be a personal song from Jay. Yeah, the lyrics in the first verse were my favorite, although they could probably be looked upon as blasphemous. But the oppositional way that he wrote was my favorite part of that part.
Okay. It was pretty heavy.
Well, it's weird when you know and love the person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To see somebody in that kind of... It's weird even talking.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel really appropriate even talking about it because he's here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, that's why it would be cool to get him on the call maybe and let him talk a bit. But I did think that like visually so like at the beginning where it was like the different rock beds and stuff, but the angle of the fan, that part hit me a little bit because it was, you know, like if you're like feeling a certain way and you're just like laying on your bed and you're looking up, because usually people have their fan like above their bed, and so it was like this sort of like half off angle of the fan, and just like you know, like when you're just sort of like laying and you're not moving anywhere because the depression or whatever is just like hitting you so hard. And then the other part was like when the word was hope, and then he like squeezed that. I'm gonna, well, no, I want to see the lyrics, but I literally cannot.
You can't see that? Damn.
I mean, it's all the way, the computer's over there by you, in front of you, and it's this big, literally
Okay. What about now?
Okay, that's better.
Can you see it now?
I can.
I'm gonna
Okay,
say-
then wow. Or I could scoot over this way and you could put them over there.
That was my favorite part. Oh, gracious and holy Father, give us wisdom that deceives
Yeah,
us.
you reacted on that part.
Negligence to understand you, diligence to divulge you, fortitude to tell you, anathema to see you, a heart to repair from you, and a life to disdain you through the power of the Spirit of Jesus Christ. So it's these are contradictory. Wisdom that deceives us, like that's something that the devil would do.
Yeah.
Negligence to understand you can't really understand somebody if you neglect them. You see what I'm saying? So, Jay, this specific set of lyrics right here from "Oh gracious unto Jesus Christ." What was going on there with you? Like, what were you thinking about? How did you get the inspiration to go in that direction? That's a little bit next level as far as writing goes. So, like, what was up with you there?
Yeah.
I always have that, like, thing in my head, too. Like, when I'm writing, like, when I'm rapping, it's like you're encouraged to put a lot of, like, wordplay and stuff in it. But when I'm, like, writing for metal or, like, writing my emotions, like, I'm like, I don't want to get too, like, intellectual and technical because it's going to lose the... You know what I'm saying? So
Honey,
I'm not...
how did she send you the? Oh, it was in the chat.
It was just the link.
Yeah, but it was in the chat, so I gotta go there because I just want to pull up the lyrics over here.
Oh, you still can't see him?
Well, you took it off, like you went to a different spot.
I'm waiting for him to respond.
Yeah, I just want to be able to look over more of the lyrics.
Jay-
It was definitely like, it was like painful, you know, like even like the words in the background. I liked the touch of like writing the lyrics on the papers.
That was brilliant.
Because it just, it gave it like this like really like raw sort of feel to it. And like, who of us hasn't written words like, you know,
Yeah.
tragic words on pages, you know, when we're feeling a certain way. So
Yeah. He says, it is a play on words due to the original statement, which is to provide comfort, but instead betrayed that. So I twisted and reversed it, but explained my perceptions as to how I felt. What part was God talking, or was God talking directly at all in the lyrics? That's a question I had.
Okay. Thanks for the link, Amy. All right, I'm pulling up the lyrics over here.
Over here.
Over here. Yeah, you know, the other parts too that kind of stuck out to me was like the "Dear God, please take away the pain, make all of the agony no longer remain. Dear God, rid me of the skin I shed, forgiving me the broken walls of sadness full of dread." That part was pretty wild too, because like that. Well, this prayer, like, pain is something that, you know, like we talk about pain sometimes, like the degrees to which we all experience pain, and how, you know, person one goes through a situation and they feel like it's the end of the world, but it would be like so simple for somebody else who's been through something much more deep. But like, if pain stretches us to the most that we can be stretched, then or that we could in that moment, then you're feeling like the extremeness of the pain as it pulls against the walls of like who we are as a person. And one person's pain might not be pain for somebody else. It's like when I oftentimes when I'm doing something out in the kitchen, I end up going too fast or too klutzy, and I end up hurting myself. And like my son was like, he's 6, well, just about to turn 6. He's like, "Mom, did you just hurt yourself?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." He's like, "You're not fine," because I actually really had like hit my toe very hard. And then not 5 minutes later, I like banged my elbow, and like it went like that, the funny bone thing all the way down, like everything was numb. It was like so frustrating. And then he was like, "Why are you not crying though?" And I was like, okay, I understand, like, because as a child, like, when you get injured, like, it's the end of the world. But then as you grow, yeah, then you're like, yeah, it's a stubbed toe. It's really frustrating, but, like, it's not the end of my world. There are other things that make me cry, not a banged up toe. And so, like, just, I guess, hearing, like, this is, Jay, is that your voice in here? Was that
those are all
variation of his voice? Yeah. Like hearing that and hearing like that, like him talking about it, like, I guess like sometimes we can all feel sort of like individual in our own pain or in the pain of the people that are like within our circle. But then like obviously Jay's in our circle, but not like he doesn't live next door, so we don't hear everything that he's going through. But when you're like hearing this, like, I don't know, like it just kind of like it was heavy like in my heart to hear you know, to hear him feeling this way, but understanding also those times too where, you know, like, you know, where we've been in points where you're like, you're not even standing anymore because you feel like you're in so much pain. And then he had that part where he was like crunching on the ground and stuff. Did he answer yet?
Not yet. Well, he said the first verse was him asking for God's help, and then the second verse was basically God's not listening, and then the third verse is like, okay, fine. Since it's like that, okay, cool, type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of the. But yeah, like it's very interesting, like having a friend that is that, you know, out there about that kind of pain, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the third verse is like, oh, okay, so God's not going to help, so then it's kill me, which is really interesting because there's a line in a movie, it was Manchurian Candidate with Denzel Washington, and he goes up to this lady, is like, it's not the love interest, but she's supposed to help him, or, you know, like she's there for, and he says, help me or kill me. And I've written that so many times in my journal to God, like. So that was a crazy little crazy little flashback moment.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, like, those specific lines, not in that way, but definitely that energy of, okay, if you don't help me, like, I think for me it's more like, I'm going to die if you don't help me, like, and then there, yeah, I guess there is a sort of variation where it's like, either come for me or kill me, because I can't keep up like this, you know?
Yeah. Damn, Jay.
But the other thing too, like when he said, you know, and when he said, I want to feel the light you give. Instead, you give me nothing that would make me choose to live. Like, Vin is always listening to different, like, ideas and, you know, like, scientific stuff and all these different things. And so it kind of, like, started making me think about, you know, like, we were just talking about it earlier, like, this idea that at the end of everything, like, Jesus promises that we're all going to be sitting around this table and he's going to be serving us, which is crazy and even uncomfortable for me to say to this moment. It actually makes me pretty emotional.
Really?
Yeah, because as a woman, like, you're the one that,
Yo,
like...
it's calling you.
Okay.
Give us a second, guys.
Hey. You have a new tire that what?
Put 'em- An ongoing problem?
Apparently. That's why I asked that question.
All right, back to it.
Right. So I like get this picture in my mind, like when I'm in the middle of a situation that's particularly troubling, and I fast forward like time in my mind and I picture us all sitting around the table. I actually picture a lot of you people too. And I don't know what a lot of you look like, so, you know, I AI generate in my brain. God knows. Anyway, And then I reverse it back to the moment that I'm in, and I'm like, okay, like, if we knew at the end, like, if we were so, like, in a video game that we didn't remember that we were part of it, and then when, like, we got to the part where we, like, you know, missed the jump and we die in the game and we think, like, it's over, but then on the other side we're like, oh, and then we're all back in the room together and we're like, oh, we were just, oh, it was, that was not as real as what we were doing now.
Yeah.
And then Vinny and I were out for a walk and it started, like, downpouring, and I've never seen water, like, look like it crystallized on the top of the like, the rain was so large and incredible. It was hitting the top. It was beautiful, like something I'd never seen before, and like I felt so captivated and drawn in to like what the water looked like. And I thought, if I didn't know what this was, I wouldn't necessarily know what it was. And it was so beautiful, and I thought, the Bible says that the eye has not seen or ear heard, like, basically what's coming, like, we have no idea, and we can't even begin to understand it because it's that great. And so, you know, I think, like, okay, so if we're like sort of trapped in this world, don't go too far with the word trapped and try to untrap yourself, but like, like, oh my gosh,
that's great, Jane. Cover your
I'm
ears.
getting too loose and fast right now.
Cover your ears, Jane.
We've been talking, and I'm like not using certain words. I'm like just going for it. Anyway, so like there's this idea, you know what I mean? Like, we're in this situation now, but we're not always going to be in it. And within this realm, like, God himself, like, becomes born here, and then he lives out a life here, and then he dies at the hands of, like, human beings who beat him, and all these different things that takes place. So, like, for me, like, that part where you said, I want to feel the light you give. Instead, you gave me nothing that would make me choose to live. And I'm like, you know what, like, life can be really dark and people can feel lonely, or they can feel, you know, like, I don't know your exact specific situation, but like literally when that part hit, I was like, there's this, like, Jesus was like born here, and like the Father gave us the Son. But then, like, I can relate with your words of saying, like when you feel like you have nothing. And I know that probably sounds like, I think sometimes when we look at somebody else's life, it looks like, oh, well, that's so, why would they feel that way? But, like, it goes back to that discussion of the pain where it's like, well, we all have different experiences in what we're going through, but God is stretching all of us to the point where we find that emptiness within ourselves, and then it puts us on, like, this search for, like, I have to find something because I cannot live in this excruciating pain or hopelessness forever. Like, yeah, so anyway, that's what it made me think of when I kind of hit that
Jay
part.
says,
but
here's the thing about my
feel it.
relationship with God. I still love him, but he hates me. Since he can love, he can hate too. Well, biblically, the Bible says that our love is always an echo. And what I mean by that is the scripture says, we love him because he first loved us. Mm-hmm. So, if the first half of your sentence is correct, then the second half of your sentence cannot be correct. If you love God and you're genuine about it, that means that he loved you first. Otherwise, you would not love him. So, I think sometimes people think that we're kind of equals in this relationship with God, and we're really not. He's the father, he's the parent. Like, the parent-child relationship is always an uneven relationship, and it always will be. You as a parent will always love your child more than your child will ever love them, ever love you. Mm-hmm. And I've seen that a bunch of times because I've got a bunch of kids. And so it may feel like God hates you, and I could definitely see why a person would feel that, but if there's any part of you that has a genuine love for God, then you can know definitively that God loves you first, because it's biblically.
Is that true? Are we really muted?
No, we were muted earlier.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's biblically and scientifically impossible for you to love God and him not love you, because your love for God was born out of God's love for you. Mm-hmm. It is impossible for a human being to love God and God not love them. So, but I'm not going to go and dismiss your feelings or your emotions or your experiences.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about the objective reality of God and how he functions. That's not to disparage or dismiss the real pain you feel and the confusion that all of us have sometimes about God and what he's doing. Like, I'm dealing with a certain theme in my life that's extremely painful for me. And it's happened 3 times. and those 3 times have pretty much been, literally have been the entire span of my life. So this one particular issue continues to repeat itself and manifest itself in these very different forms. And I was telling Sori, I'm like, this has to be some sort of divine intervention, right? Because what are the odds that this keeps happening, and it's happened for the entire stretch of my life? So I get the perplexity, what is it, Beyond Dismay? I forgot the name of the song. Beyond Dismay, I was right. Yeah, like, I am beyond dismay on certain things in my life. So, I can agree with that, but thankfully, I've been graced to understand that I know the depth of my evil to varying degrees, and I know that there'd be nothing in me that would love God if he didn't love me first. So it says right there, we love because he first loved us. So, Paul, and it's interesting because Nergal talked about this verse. Mm-hmm. He did not quote it like perfectly, but he talked about this verse, and I thought it was really, really interesting.
He did?
Yeah, he did. This also kind of relates to what you were saying, Jay, where he says, at just the right time when we were still powerless, Christ died for the ungodly. Ungodly means bad people. Ungodly means people that deserve God's hatred. That's what ungodly means. Very rarely will anyone die for a righteous person, though for a good person someone might possibly dare to die. But God demonstrates his own love for us in this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Allahu Akbar. Mm-hmm. So, while we were still sinners, there's an eternal side to Jesus' death, and then there's your individual story to Jesus' death. And while you hated God, or while you were in sin, or while you fill in the blanks, Christ died for you. And it basically means, and this was the free verse Nergal quoted, I loved you at your worst.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, and it's to encourage people who are like, okay, if God can love you at your worst, when you were the absolute worst version of yourself, how in the world could we then doubt that he won't love us as we're trying to be better people, trying to be more like Jesus? How could he dismiss us because of our failures if he loved us at our worst? Mm-hmm. And then the last thing I will say, well, actually, let me see what Jay is saying before I jump on for my last thingamajiggy. Jay says, hey, Justin, it's good to see you two back on the Fireside. Good to see you too, buddy. But I was always brought up to love God. Yeah, you can be brought up to love God. You can be brought up to love God in a religious family, which, by the way, is also a sign that God loved you. Because there's people that were brought up in a house not to love God. There are people that are brought up in a household not to acknowledge God. Mm-hmm. And so, you being brought up always to love God, doesn't mean that you personally will love God. I know lots of people that were brought up to love God and hate his guts. So that's one. But two, if that verse is correct, which I believe it is, then that means that that's a double whammy of how much God loves you, because he put you in an environment where you could love him first, and that's obviously recognition that he loved you first. So, you know, here's the last thing I'll say. Because I think a lot of this has to do with, you know, a lot of us haven't been given the opportunity to develop a real good theology of suffering. And I think it's very important for folks to develop a good theology of suffering. Those who are led by the Spirit of God are the children of God. The Spirit you receive does not make you slaves so that you live in fear again. Rather, the Spirit you received brought about your adoption to sonship. And by him we cry, Abba, Father. So you're yelling at God, but that's what children do. They cry out to their Father.
Yeah, that sounds like...
Right? And so, so that's... I always say, like, these things count as prayer. Anything that you communicate that's Godward counts as a prayer. And crying out to God as your Father doesn't always mean, oh, Father, right? Sometimes it's you suck as a father. Sometimes it's I'm going to jump off this bridge. Sometimes it's I can't take this anymore. Sometimes it's where are you? Crying out to God as Father doesn't always mean just sweet, like, oh, you're my Father. The Spirit himself testifies with our spirit that we are God's children. I think at some subliminal level, the Holy Spirit actually had you write this song because it is testimony that God is your Father. If he hated you or he completely ignored you and he was never going to hear you, it doesn't make sense to write a song and direct it toward him. Right? Now, if we are children, then we are heirs of God and co-heirs with Christ. Now, here's the part. If indeed we share in his sufferings in order that we might share in his glory. So, part of the marks of sonship are the Spirit being your life, the Spirit adopting you as a son, because none of us were born sons of God. We talked about this yesterday. To those who received him, who believed in his name, he gave them the right to be called sons and daughters of God. And so it's the Holy Spirit that activated that in our hearts. Another marker of being God's child and being somebody God loves is that we cry out to him. We pray to him. And when it says cry out, it means the deepest level of who you are. It's not just a, hey, God, and a nice, you know, people have these weird understandings what prayer is supposed to be. Like, that's very nice and very... And the Spirit testifies with our spirit that we're God's children. Now, and here's the last part of a marker of being loved by God and being a child of God is that you suffer, you share in the sufferings of Christ. It says it right there. You're heirs of God and co-heirs with Christ. Like one day when this is all over, you're going to be on the council. You can ask Pony what that means at the end of the day. If indeed we share in his sufferings... You know, which is why, you know, my man Matt, he's like, yo, I did not need to see Jesus' ribcage in the Passion of the Christ. But I needed to see it. Because I've suffered, okay? And Jesus told us from the beginning, there was no fine print, bro. Like, there was no fine print. He said, deny yourself and take up your cross and follow me. Like, all of us are promised crosses. But we're also promised glory. And we're also promised that he's got a plan for all of that. And so I don't think that your pain and suffering means that God hates you. I do think that one of the markers of being in the family is suffering in a way that Christ suffered and crying out to God and being loved before we love. These are all markers of being in the family. And so your song, whatever your cognitive motive was, blended exactly in with what the scripture says an authentic walk with God is supposed to look like. And nobody can have an authentic walk with God like that unless God is doing something supernatural in them. So I don't want to dismiss your very real feelings of whatever, because I'm in the middle of it myself. There's some things like I don't even know how to get over or get through. But I do know that. I do love God. It's one of my favorite lines in the Bible where Peter says to Jesus, you know all things, you know that I love you. And so it's like, I don't love you perfectly. I don't love you the way you deserve to be. But you know all things, and you know that I love you. And so I know that, and he knows that. And so I'm like, okay. And he goes, well, then if you love me, then that means that by necessity I must love you. So you are loved, Jay. That's how I would interpret it. What do you got?
Yeah. No, I mean, I second that. You are loved.
Being on the council means you're going to convert to Catholicism. Thanks, Vin. Yeah. So if we don't cry out to God, he won't accept us as his children, and the devil accepts us either or? Nope. The crying out to God, remember, manifests itself in a lot of different ways. Mm-hmm. Some people will literally go, God, ah. Other people will write music like Nergal or Jay or me. Some people will write poetry. Crying out to God simply means your authentic self. Like the root of the purest version of who you are. When I say pure, I don't mean pure like good or whatever. I mean like the totality of you. Like the real you without all the bullshit, without the masks and without the whatever. Mm-hmm. This, like, you know, in this particular piece of art, it was an extremely vulnerable thing where we're not just writing about pain, but we're really... And so... No, crying out to God is talking about the real you that nobody else sees. It's not the Facebook icon you. It's not the YouTube filtered you. It's not the things that you don't say to your friends because you don't want to hurt their feelings you. It's not the things that you project to your loved ones because you want them to feel better than, think that you're better than you are you. It's the core, real you that only you barely know, that God knows completely. The part of you that's crying out, that's communicating to God from that part, that counts as crying out to God. So however that manifests itself, it's different from all of us. But yeah, that's how to answer that. I was Catholic who went to a Christian church. I was screwed from the jump. The song is from the perspective of pain. I have one I'm working on from the perspective of hate. That one is a doozy. Hate is definitely a burden, my boy. Okay, Jay, deep song, bruh. Keep writing. And I'm saying to everybody, man, keep writing, y'all. It would be cool to you know, center a couple of the artists of the village and have those discussions and things like that. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
I agree with that.
It's really organic and really a really beautiful thing to see from everybody. So shout out to Jay for leading the way, obviously. That's going to be good. Very good. It'll be 40 years that I've been writing poetry. Holy smokes. Shout out to Gabe. Evil Pear, I remember him. You remember Evil Pear? Evil Pear, my brother. I think you're gonna have to catch us on the next Fireside because we got to get out of here. We are getting out of here. Shout out to Evil Pear. I promise we did not leave because of you, my brother. I promise. It's just time for us to go. Much love to all you beautiful people. I am going to be doing a Fireside again tomorrow. Hopefully a lot earlier than I said before. So hopefully you guys can all show up and come and enjoy your time. Having said that, dear listener,
Goodbye.
Vin out.
Sorry out.
Do you have anything to say to the people?
No. Well, did you want me to?
No.
I have nothing. I have
All
nothing
right.
to say.
Later, Obi-Wan. God bless. Vin out.